Hello everyone and welcome to a D&D game of a lifetime. And at the Proving Grounds we join the Knights of Pen and Paper. So, first thing, this is the PS4 version, the physical version that strictly limited games did. This is available on the Switch, the Xbox One, PC, and mobile. Now, a little history about the game is originally it was a mobile game that had microtransactions. As far as I understand, it was later updated to not have microtransactions anymore and you paid for the game because I think it was a free game before. I'm not familiar with the mobile version, but so for all the other releases, you got Knights of Pen and Paper, the Deluxe Edition +1. Now, as far as I understand, this didn't add like crap loads of content. It added a bit more, but as far as I understand, again, I haven't played the mobile version, so I can't comment much on the differences besides it not having the microtransactions that existed supposedly in the mobile version. Anyway, let's get on with talking about the version we are playing. So this is the PS4 version, and it is heavily themed after D&D-esque themes. So you start off the game, you create your characters, and you slowly do pretty much referential joke type quests. I mean, really, this isn't a serious story. There's a lot of references in the backgrounds, in the quests, in the characters, and there isn't really a huge plot going on. You basically just start, the world's referred to as the world of pen and paper, and you're just starting a D&D group. Now, the characters you create are very stereotypical. Some are humorous. You got Noah, the jock, your teacher, your little brother, the hippie, an alien, and a few other special guest characters that are in the game as well. And they all have their own unique abilities. They can be combined with picking a class, and each class has 4 skills that they can use in combat that may have positive, negative, or just damageable reasons. You get to customize your table also. You can provide food that will give temporary buffs, objects, tables, the D&D master, furniture, and that can give different benefits like giving more gold, experience, HP, boosting people's stats a bit. But these are all very minor things. So you'll go around the map. You'll be doing quests to get gold and stuff. And inventory and weapons are now very easy. Everyone has a weapon and a shield armor type. Basically, they have a weapon, an armor type, and then 4 accessory slots. So you upgrade your weapon and armor at blacksmith, and the higher the level of a blacksmith is, the higher chance that they will succeed, because they have a chance where they can fail and take your money anyway, which sucks. Then the 4 accessory, you'll get accessories as you play, but you'll find very few good ones a lot of times. You'll get to the point where you're getting a lot of junk stuff more than good stuff. You'll find some good stuff, but for the most part, you get a lot of junk stuff. I mean, even in I ended the game in the 40s, and doing like the high level dungeon, a lot of times I'll get rewarded level 5 accessories at times, and I really don't understand what controls that exactly. Like, I would think, the zone you're in would control the kind of items you get, but a lot of times I would get like level 1 to 5 accessory things from areas that were level 20 and plus, and it's kinda fucking weird, to be honest, but if you end up having that problem, you can buy lots and lots of accessories once you start gathering up gold. There are many different accessories, and one I would like to point out to you is the lucky amulet that gives you 5% critical, 5% experience, 5% gold, and a +1 dice roll. This is a very useful item in the early game if you can equip it. I think it's a level 23 accessory, so I think you'll have to... It's a level 26. It's a level 26, so you won't be able to get super early, but it is a very useful item for things that involve dice roll. When you move, go in dungeons, you use dice rolls. When you go camping out in the wild, you use a dice roll, and dice rolls would dictate good and bad things. They're pretty simple. They're usually just whether you run into monsters or not. But when you go through a dungeon, there's also a few additional bonuses. You can also find treasure or get lucky and get healed a little bit while encountering monsters in dungeons. But overall, dice rolls ain't really much outside of that. It would have been nice to see some skills actually revolve around dice, which is something I hope to see in the sequel to this game. Now, gold, you know, being an RPG-esque game, you do have gold in that, and sometimes gold kind of goes up and down. Like, sometimes it's pretty abundant, and other times you hardly get any. It seems kind of all over the place, but it's a lot more easier to find areas to get gold than it is to at least try and get random accessories from quests, dungeons, and things in my experience. Because in the end of the game, I basically bought all the really good accessories for my characters, because the game was hardly... I think the last half-decent thing I got from a drop was a level 17 item, and that's just... It's weird how the game gives you really low-quality items at times from doing certain things. Now, there are a fair number of job classes you get. You only start with a few, but you'll eventually be able to unlock some more. You'll be able to get Knight, Necromancer, Barbarian, Hunter, Shaman, Bard on top of the base classes. And whether you want to continue with the base classes or swap in and out characters, or depends on how much you want to get into it. Personally, I just stuck with my first crew from beginning to end, but... You know, you're of course always welcome to make new characters, and it is encourageable because you do get a few extra characters as you play the game that can benefit more as certain classes. So, it kind of depends on what you want to do. It depends on what you want to do. But overall, the game just has a charming D&D aesthetic. It doesn't really have a serious story. It basically gets to a point where something's happening to the D&D game, and it's not really much of a serious story. Graphically, the game, obviously, I'm sure you can tell, is very retro-looking. Music, just not really a memorable music in the game, honestly. It's not anything I'm going to slap on a CD or hum down the street. It's not a Toby Fox soundtrack, but it does get the job done. But it's overall a pretty average experience when it comes to the RPG mechanics. It has a threat system for tank characters, magic, druid type abilities. You have thieves able to knock out. You can do some crowd control with sleeping, few things like that. So it has a bit of, if you're familiar with like MMO-esque type things, it does have a few things that work like that. But overall, it's not really breaking any huge boundaries. Really, the whole D&D thing is the whole theme, and honestly, though, like, a few weaknesses. Like, there's basically there are two dungeons you get access to, not counting the in-game story one. And, I mean, it goes from a level 20 dungeon, and the low-level one's a level 12 dungeon. And you don't really get anything good at them. There is like a whale merchant you can come across. I've never came across it. It's apparently very, 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 very well, and it sells the best stuff in the game, supposedly, that you can't really find. But like I said, I never came across it. I've only read about when I was looking up about the final boss. So it's kind of... Honestly, I feel like the bigger weaknesses here is a lot of the balance with the accessories. It's just the gear that drops from stuff. It just seems wildly inconsistent for the areas you're in. Now, there are a few side things. There is like a super boss area that's for like level 40. So you do get a little in-content. But overall, really, I'd say the biggest charm of this is really just a lot of references. There's a lot, like, if you're familiar with the 80s and 90s, you will probably potentially see things referencing different movies, cartoons, D&D, RPG things, just all kinds of random references to things. I saw quite a few, and I enjoyed looking for them, but, you know, making references does not estimate, you know, it does not make fantastic, magical video game, you know. I would overall say it was a pretty average experience, but I could see some real potential in the game. I heard the sequel is much better thought out, so I definitely look forward to giving that a try in the future. And if you happen to be interested in trophy achievement type stuff, this does have those. It has a full platinum 1000 on Xbox, and you got Steam achievements. How I would weight them is pretty average. You'll probably get like 50 to 60% doing the game story mode, and you could get several of the others either easily side, or you could try to finish them off. There's a few challenging ones, like finishing the game in 465 days, as moving and doing things causes days to pass. So there are a few challenges. There are a few weird, worthless ones, like the clear 50 dungeons. Like I said, there's only really 2 dungeons, not counting the last dungeon, so, and the rewards are really bad most of the time, so it's kind of a big grind in that regard. But overall, most of the trophies for the console versions are pretty doable without having to replay the entire game. It's just the last few would require doing that. But overall, what would I give this game's price range? I think about $10 is a pretty fair price. Now, this is one of the instances where the price is actually very different in a few different places. On console, it's $14.99, and on PC, it's $9.99. However, there are also a few options to do a bundle purchase of Knights of Pen and Paper 1 and 2 for $14.99 on a few select stores. So it's kind of a weird pricing everywhere. And then of course those sales, like right now it's on sale for $5.99 on PSN. So it's around that price range on console. And if you're looking for a physical version, at this time, it's only on PS4 and Switch. Super Whale Games did a bundle of 1 and 2 for the Switch, and Strictly Limited did a one for the PS4. And those are currently the only physical versions, and they are sold out, long sold out. Now, you can also get this game DRM free, and if that is your cup of tea, you won't have to, you know, say goodbye to lots of money, potentially. I mean, these will, I'm not sure what they won by now, but we will take a quick look, see what eBay prices are going for. So let's see. Holy crap. Let's see what the lowest ones are. Because I don't want to say these and cause anyone to have like a neo heart attack. Holy crap. So, bad news if you're interested in the physical version. If you're interested in the strictly limited version, that's going between $40 to $100, so that one isn't as bad. But if you're looking for the Switch version, the lowest Switch version for Knights of Pen and Paper 1 and 2 bundle from Super Whale Games is $100, and it keeps going up. There's several for $200, so if you're looking for that, you might want to pray and hope it goes down. So at the moment, that's kinda in the insane range. Without knowing the quality of Knights of Pen and Paper 2, and even if it was like some descending game of heaven, I very rarely even can think a game over 100, let alone fucking over 200. So yeah. So if you're just looking for Knights of Pen and Paper 1 for the PS4, there are several up in the 40 range, so that may catch your interest, but that's value-wise high. Like, for a physical version, I could see paying $19.99. Like, a lot of times, you know, $19.99 is usually what you expect for, like, a not super big experience of that. So, you can argue that being a price for a physical version, at least. But 40s, unless you're, like, a must-own physical version person, I would just go get the DRM free version, honestly. This, at least the first one, didn't drive my world crazy. I enjoyed the beginning to the mid, but the end game started getting kind of bad a little bit because of drops and money and kind of what happened at the end when we talk about the spoiler portion. But I think $10 is a good price range. Myself, that's what I think the game is worth. Now, for the spoiler section, so not really a whole lot besides a little bit about the final boss of the storyline. You just find out that the real world and the world of pen and paper are having weird crossover problems, and the villains trying to infect the real world and stuff. It's not really too drawn upon, but you basically find a giant Black Knight guy, and you know, I found him like a really strange boss because he's like 80% harder than anything else in the fucking game practically, besides the like super boss that you're supposed to be like level 40 for. I mean, unless you debuff him and buff his main, whoever the threat target is, your tank, pretty much everyone died to him in fucking one hit. Like I said, I was in the 40s, and I think the recommended level for the dungeon, I think, was like 39 or something. I can't quite remember. So I was considered like over leveled, and he could still kill anyone, even my tank. If he didn't have his buffs on and get debuffed on the boss, he could even kill my tank in one hit. It was like fucking ridiculously strong. You basically have to just debuff and buff your main threat people, use Phoenix Downs on the unlucky, unfortunate souls that die, and just deal as much massive damage as you can. It's not a really interesting boss fight. You just basically cheese the fuck out of him, really. It's pretty meh. Especially since you can buy crap loads of Phoenix Downs, which I bought quite a few for my second attempt of him, and I believe I only used one during it, so my second attempt of him went much better, but still, he was not an interesting boss at all. So I'd say the early game is where a lot more of the charm is, and the end game kinda just falls apart, in my opinion, and joy, and you just kinda want it to be over. Now, personally, I think some of this might be because of the original microtransactions that were in the mobile version. Now, again, I've never played it, but I kind of feel like it's kind of like what's that one game where the crap, I can't remember that one AAA game I'm trying to think of that did something similar. Diablo, yeah, Diablo 3. Diablo 3's, when it first launched, they had a microtransaction auction house. And then they took it away and they changed the entire balance of how weapons and stuff worked. And I kind of wonder if that's why the drops for a lot of stuff is really bad in this game. I don't really know, but honestly, it's not a terrible game. It's just, you know, I'm a guy who has over 2,000 games. And if you're in a similar boat, I don't think this is something you need to break a sweat over adding to your collection. But that's ultimately your judgment. I'm just here to give you my thoughts, what I know, and my opinions, so you can make a judgmental purchase. But again, it is $9.99 DRM free on GOG and Humble Bundle. Just FYI. Anywho, those are my thoughts. If you feel like you learned something a bit interesting in this video, please feel free to leave a like. And if you feel you've learned nothing at all, feel free to leave a dislike. Feel free. Till next time, the Proving Grounds gates are always open for you and your D&D adventures. Till next time.
どうだった？私の作った朝ごはん。感想だよ。感想。そうか、そう